I'm not the qualified person to discuss details about parenting, but because I am in this field for quite long time, more than 5 years. So whatever I have heard and read, based on that, share some things. So as in the last meeting, you have requested to discuss on parenting. So some of the things that I have learned in past years, I can share. And what you can also share some, because you have practical experience, right? you you are parents for at least last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So through your experience you can share what we are going to do in this series of discussions. We will discuss parenting through two perspectives. One is from Vedic perspective and another is from modern perspective. And then you have the choice, whatever you want to apply. Some of the Vedic perspectives, some of the modern perspectives, whatever you want to apply, you can choose. So for Vedic perspective, if we go in the background, how parenting started. So we know that Brahma did the creation, and then to keep the purpose of creation, they need to create progeny, and therefore Brahma requested his sons. Some of them refused, like Narad Muni and four Kumaras. They said, we are not interested. But then there are others, Daksha and the Manus. They created progeny. So what is the need? One is Lord Brahma was given the service of creation and furtherance of creation, so that the souls from the spiritual world, those who have some enviousness for Krishna and therefore it is not fit for them to live in the spiritual world, they can come to the material world. And when they come to the material world, they go in different species, from aquatics to insects to birds to animals and then human beings. So when they come to human life, they have the opportunity to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And therefore, becoming parent in human life, that means giving a soul opportunity to get a human body so that that soul can get out of the cycle of birth and death, is very important service. One more important consideration can be, because in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavism that we are following, it is coming from Lord Brahma, right? We are in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Lord Brahma is not only the creator for us, but also our Parampara Acharya, because we belongs to Brahma Sampradaya. You know about the four Sampradayas, and we belong to the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, starting from Lord Brahma. So in that way, he is our spiritual master and Guru Shishya Parampara. So all of you knows what Srila Prabhupada said about child care. Very famous quote, he says, child care is even more important than deity worship. And some of you might have read that first time when Srila Prabhupada reached, I don't know which country, but because he was traveling continuously from this country to that country, and devotees, they were very enthusiastic to receive Srila Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada went to the temple, he saw that a Mataji is doing deity worship, because Prabhupada has allowed Matajis to do deity worship. But so anyone who do not know this pastime, so I can elaborate. Otherwise, if you already know, maybe in short, devotees planned that there will be two cars. One will take Srila Prabhupada little later, and the other car will go faster to another route which is shorter, so that the devotees can reach. Because devotees wanted to welcome Prabhupada at airport also and in temple also. So they did this planning that one car will carry devotees from airport to the temple in a short route, so that they can reach early to prepare for welcome of Srila Prabhupada, and the car that was carrying Srila Prabhupada will take a longer route, so that he will reach the temple little later. But then the plan failed, and Prabhupada reached before the devotees. And when Prabhupada entered the temple, he saw that Mataji is doing deity worship, and his child, I don't know, son or daughter, but her child, yeah, sorry, her, yeah, not his child, her child was crying in the temple hall, because there was no other devotee to take care of the child, because all the devotees went to welcome Srila Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada saw that, he told to Mataji that child care is more important than deity worship. You can leave deity worship, that's not a problem, but you cannot neglect children, because these children are not ordinary children, they are Vaikuntha children. Especially in the family of devotees, the children, those who come, they are not ordinary children. These children, they have performed devotional service in their previous lives, but because they could not achieve perfection, therefore they again got another chance to continue their devotional service. Like Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 6.40-41, Arjuna asks that what happens to those who practice devotional service but they cannot complete, they cannot achieve the highest perfection. What happens to those souls? And Krishna says, those souls get another opportunity in next life in the family of pious people or aristocratic people, so that they are not bothered about their livelihood. They can easily continue their practice of Krishna consciousness in their next life. And those, they are more advanced in Krishna consciousness but cannot complete their perfection in this life, so they get birth in a devotee family, so that along with their livelihood, their sustenance, they also get very easy opportunity as well as facilities, all facilities to practice Krishna consciousness from their very childhood. So these souls are not ordinary souls. They have practiced Krishna consciousness to a very advanced level. And because you are parents, you can confirm that. You can see that from very childhood, they show amazing expertise in Krishna consciousness, their love for Krishna, their intelligence. It is different from other children. And therefore, with parenting for devotees is even more important, because it is not only our duty, but is a very intimate service to Krishna, to our Guru Parampara, and to the devotees who have come in our life as our family member. So different things what I'm planning to discuss throughout the seminars. One is because we have discussed something about Vedic perspective. Another thing about modern perspective is this is important to understand that there are three principles which are very important in parenting. So these are according to Bert Hellinger, who is known as the father of family constellations. So he has given three principles of family. The first is everyone belong to the family. Now, most of the time, what impacts the holistic growth of a child is our previous family line. So as we understand that the holistic personality of a child is in 4 dimensions, not only child, any living entity, not only human beings, also any living entity, their holistic personality can be in 4 dimensions. One is physical, one is mental, one is intellectual, and one is spiritual. All of us understand what does that mean. What is physical existence? Our body. Body includes our brain and internal organs, and our mental existence, which is our mind, which has the function of thinking, feeling, and willing, and our intellectual existence, which is the capacity to discern between right and wrong, and our spiritual existence, our soul, our relationship with Krishna. Now, for holistic development of a child, all these 4 dimensions need to be taken care. We need to take care of the body of our children. We need to take care of their mind. We need to take care of their intelligence, and we need to take care of their soul. Of course, the most important is soul, but we cannot neglect body, mind, and intelligence, because these are the instruments which help to practice Krishna consciousness. And when we are able to practice Krishna consciousness properly, then only the development of soul on a spiritual platform can take place. So, what are the factors that affect the personality of the child? There are three factors. One is the previous birth of the child. So, whatever the child has performed, his guna and karma, his actions and his desires in the previous lives, not one life, but many millions of previous lives, all those lives have impression in their mind. So mind is like a scanner, as we have discussed earlier also. And whatever we see, whatever we experience through our senses, whatever we see, we hear, we smell, taste, or touch, all those things are scanned in the mind and they're stored. And at the time of death, the body changes, but mind does not changes. The mind, the subtle body, which is consist of mind, intelligence, and false ego, that subtle body remains same. It does not change even after death. And that subtle body carries the soul to the next physical body. So those impressions which are there in our mind from our previous lives, they continue in this life. So that is one factor that affects the personality of the child. Second factor is our family line, our ancestors, and that forms the family tree. This whole family constellation is based on the family tree, because there is a child and the child has two parents, father and mother. Father has his father and mother, mother has her father and mother, then the father's father has his father and mother, and father's mother has her father and mother, and mother's father has his father and mother, and mother's mother has her father and mother, and then the family tree goes on and on and on. And any traumatic incidents takes place in that family, carries on generation after generation, So that also impacts the personality of the child. And therefore, according to psychology, according to family constellation, it is very important to resolve every traumatic incidents in our family so that there can be holistic development of our future generations. And the third factor that affects the personality of child is the experiences. In this life, whatever child experience and through experience, whatever they learn, that affects their personality. So out of these three, only one is partially in our control, right? We cannot control the previous life of the child. Whatever has happened has happened. We cannot control the family line. Whatever happened in our family has happened. And the experiences that our child is experiencing, we can only partially control. We cannot have full control of what our child is going to experience because we are living in society and we cannot control everyone. So the part of experiences that we can control as parents, it is very important for us to take care of that aspect which we can control. And if we can do that properly, then the service on our part is mainly taken care of. So that is one part of service, not complete service. One part of service is the experiences that our child is having. We should give positive experiences which increases his or her love for Krishna. Very simple formula. What to do, what not to do. Anything which is increasing love for Krishna, we can do that, whatever it is. Anything which is not increasing love for Krishna, no need to do that. That is not going to do any benefit. So we will have another session for this, what is actually beneficial and what is so-called beneficial. That so we'll discuss later about that. So the part that we can control, the experiences, we should be very cautious about it and we should work. That is our service. We should do that properly. The other part which we cannot control, the experiences, we can try to minimize that as far as possible. But because we are not the controller, everything we cannot control. So we can only try to minimize that. Now for the other two factors, which is the previous life and our family line, what we can do is there are samskaras, mainly 16 samskaras, and there are more. But those main 16 samskaras, the purpose of those samskaras is to purify the existence of soul, whatever contamination they have from previous birth. So the previous birth of the child as well as the previous family members, whatever impact they have on the personality of child, that can be purified through performing samskaras. And the most important of that is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because that is Cheto Darpan Marjanam. Whatever, any kind of contamination the child has, that can be purified through chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And whatever practice of Krishna consciousness parents does, the child shares their credit. So the practice of Krishna consciousness of parents, that also gives benefit to the child. And of course, when child grows, he or she should be encouraged to practice Krishna consciousness so that his holistic development can take place. Holistic development meaning all the four dimensions: physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual. So later we will discuss in detail about all these 4 dimensions. For today, the first point of family principles, everyone belong to the family. So sometimes it happens in the family that we reject some people. Sometimes the old parents are rejected. Sometimes the brothers or sisters, they are rejected. Sometimes there is some accident or untimely death. So all those traumatic experiences, whether the child knows about it or does not know about it, in every case, it affects the personality of the child. It has the impact on the physical body as well as subtle body of the child. Yes, physical body also. So this is the principle. Everyone belong to the family. This is very simple to understand. We do not choose which family we will belong to. It is given to us by the arrangement of laws of nature according to our karmas and desires, according to our guna and karma. So whichever family we are given by the arrangement of Krishna, by the arrangement of laws of nature, working under supervision of Krishna, we should accept that. And we must understand that not only we belong to this family where we have taken birth, but everyone, our grandparents, our brothers, sisters, the children of our brother, sister, if we neglect them, if we deny their acceptance in the family, then it will impact the personality of our child. And therefore, we must accept everyone in our family because they all belong to our family, which is given to them by Krishna's arrangement according to laws of nature. So very important principle, everyone belong to the family. We cannot deny. Usually most popular nowadays is cases of divorce, which when both father and mother, they belong to one family, but then there is separation. So that has negative impact on the personality of child. And similarly, in some families, it can be grandparents which are neglected or not. So not given space in the family means mental space. In our mind, if we have this thought that they do not anymore belong to our family, that impacts the personality of our child. So we need to give them space. Everyone who belongs to that family, we need to give them a mental space in our mind that yes, they are part of our. Second is, who comes first is elder. Sometimes it happens first child, because usually it happens in the early age of marriage where the parents are not properly settled. So the elder child is neglected, and when they plan for the second child, it is more in a planned manner. So the second child, sometimes the second child gets more attention, more love, and because of that, the second child starts ordering the elder sibling, maybe brother or sister, any case. That is not good for the holistic personality of our second child and our first child also. So this is an important principle. Who comes first is elder, and who is elder in every case. Even if the elder child may be mentally not well or physically not well, maybe lacking physically or mentally, and the second child may be more intelligent or more healthy. In any case, the first child is elder because we have not chosen, children have not chosen. It is again by Krishna's arrangement, by the laws of nature, that who has come first in our family and who has come next. So when Krishna has given that order, we must accept it. The elder is elder and the younger is younger. The third is love always flows downwards. Always. Downwards meaning from parents to children. Sometimes we have expectations of love and respect from children. That also impacts the personality of the child, their holistic development. When there is undue or uh, unreasonable demand of love and respect from children, because we are not aware about these principles, so unknowingly we do that most of the times. But that negatively impacts the development of the child. Love always flows downwards. That means parents are always to give and children are always to receive. We should not have expectation from children that they will do something for us. As parents, it is always our duty to do everything for them out of love or out of duty at least. In return, we should not have any expectation that they will do something. If they do like this, then only I will love, not like that. If in any competition, if they will win prize, then only he is my lovely child. Otherwise, he will be scolded or given some punishment, not like that. So, what is actual love? That also we will discuss in later some of the session. So these are three important principles of family. Everyone belongs to the family. Who comes first is elder, and love always flows downwards. So later, what we are planning to discuss three things. One is learnings from Krishna as the Supreme Father. What are the qualities Krishna has? Because he is the father of every living entity. He is the Supreme Father. And as a father, as a parent, what all qualities Krishna has, that we will discuss. Second is spiritual master is also considered as a spiritual father. So what all qualities a spiritual master has, from which we can learn. And third is the role of father and mother. So we will discuss all those things from both perspectives, from scriptures, Vedic perspectives, and from modern perspectives. Okay, so any discussion on that, what we have discussed today? Any comments or questions? No?